Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well. Welcome back to the channel AT's Film Review tonight, considering number 80 on the AFI Top 100, The Apartment, okay? 1960, Billy Wilder, and of course the legendary Jack Lemmon, and a very, very young Shirley MacLaine. A story about an apartment. One could say romantic comedy, dramatic comedy, but a comedy for sure, okay? But definitely drama and laughs combined. Now, the two names, three really, mentioned moments ago, absolutely part of the reason why this film belongs in the AFI Top 100, okay? Of course, you have Lemmon and MacLaine, who have incredible filmographies. In the description below, you can click out and see what exactly they did. And Barry Wilder, of course, this movie coming immediately after Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe. And so, there you go. He had a pretty good stride there in the late 50s, early 60s. As well, this film, it didn't begin a trend by any means, but it's a comedy that deals with socially awkward topics and themes for the time, of course. And in this film, the primary theme really is infidelity, okay? There's also that one scene, though, when the doctor just wails on Shirley MacLaine to get her to wake up. And I didn't know how to feel when I watched that for the first time. I was like, because he is really hitting her. Whoa! But definitely, thinking of like the late 50s, early 60s, everything is, Leave It to Beaver, sparkly, sweet, and clean. And then here's this movie that approaches, again, the central topic of infidelity. But of course, I believe that's one of the reasons why it belongs, on this list and is relevant for films of the future and for the future, because comedy has a way of approaching culturally sensitive material in a way that drama cannot do, action, of course, cannot do, even documentaries can't do. There's something about the way you approach a serious subject with laughter that doesn't make it better or worse, okay? It doesn't make it more or less unacceptable, but you're able to get at it in a new way, and perhaps even a more refreshing way, an easier way, when there's mirth and gladness and joy, laughter surrounding it. That being said, I would not believe this film is a commentary on infidelity in New York in the early 1960s. But given the amount of infidelity that is portrayed in this film, very little sexual content, of course, really none at all. But given the amount that is referenced and portrayed, the laughs make it accessible. You don't feel overwhelmed by the fact that all of these different affairs are happening over the course of the movie in the lives of all these different characters. And of course, almost all of them marry. I think all of them are. I think they all talk about their wives and their mistresses. It's a mess. Controversial for its time, but paying it forward, okay? And so many of the comedy films of today enjoy that same technique, or bravery even, in approaching, again, sensitive material, sensitive topics through comedy. I'm sorry, man. I've been having computer trouble, so I didn't have a chance to search for this. The spiritual element is interesting with this film. Not that it's a comedy, but I don't know. It was just a little different for me. I don't know what. Excuse me. I don't know what it was about it that was different for me. I guess I've never seen it before, for what it's worth, and I feel like we've been in a lot of different films recently on the AFI Top 100. If you've been following along, then you know. Just recently, of course, we had Sunrise, which was incredible, and then Spartacus, which was like the other end of the world of film, and now we have the apartment, and then coming up next is the Wild Bunch. Okay, so I'm feeling like I'm just getting tossed around, but I'm so loving it. Anyway, most of the movie happens, as the title suggests, in an apartment, and the first half of the movie shows a lot of the darkness and the strife that's occurring in the apartment, and how it conflicts afflicts and causes conflict. Is confliction a word? Vegas. All right. How it causes conflict in the protagonist. But in the second part of the movie, without saying any more, because you really should see this, it's really a gem, is really a turn from all of that. And indeed, so much of what the apartment stood for in the first half of the film is very much redeemed in the second half, in a sense. And I thought of myself and how in my own life I go back and forth. Sometimes I feel like my life is full of darkness and sin and sinful behavior and sinful choices. And other times I feel so close to God and so near to Him. And I can't even remember there being a time when I was in all this stuff, And most of the time, I guess really most of the time, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. I'm lukewarm. Whoa. But that's just where I'm at in my own personal life. And so I thought of more dualities, ways in which we kind of live in both of those realms. Of course, one of the most potent of these verses, besides that lukewarm passage from Revelation, is from the book of James, in which James is talking about the tongue and really the spirit. And he says, look, blessings and curses can't come from the same tongue, yet they do, And with our mouths, we say good things and bad things. With the same mouth, we say totally opposite things. And James is sort of saying, look, even though this can happen, it shouldn't happen. And that our lives should be focused in one direction. That we can't serve two masters, right? And so maybe you've seen this this little image here. I'll definitely have Vegas put it up here for you on so you can see. I'm sorry, it'll be a little smaller, but I'll just read it off real quick. And this is it shows the duality of the human experience meeting the divine. Do you seriously think God can't use you? Noah was a drunk. Abraham was too old. Isaac was a daydreamer. Jacob was a liar. Leah was ugly. Joseph was abused. Moses had a stuttering problem. Gideon was afraid. Samson had long hair and was a womanizer. David had an affair and was a murderer. Elijah was suicidal. Isaiah preached naked. Jonah ran from God. Naomi was a widow. Job went bankrupt. Peter denied Jesus Christ. The disciples fell asleep while praying. Martha worried about everything. The Samaritan woman in John 4 was divorced 5 times. Zacchaeus was too small, too short. Paul was too religious. Timothy had an ulcer. Lazarus was dead. Dualities. This kind of person with this kind of problem, addiction, personality trait, and yet somehow God came into their life and did amazing things with them. He came into the apartment of their life, and whatever they had going before, whatever they were struggling with, whatever they thought they were, God changed it. Radical change, complete change. This is somewhat what happens in this film. Please go watch it. And please continue to watch the channel. I do appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you care to, okay? Next up, number 79, The Wild Bunch, coming soon. You can see behind me, I just got a whole bunch of movies from my parents who were visiting from Oregon, and they brought my whole movie collection. And so, lots to enjoy, but gotta work on the AFI. I know I haven't posted a video in about a week and a half, and I'm sorry about that. Let's stay for 10 minutes for one time. Thanks for watching, everyone. Really hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Bye. Under 10 minutes. Like a boss.